Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, Kal Halal. All praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Kodash, Brakathum. Double honors shall go to apostles, elders, and bishops, a great millstone to continue to teach it to rule well. Shalom to the Akims, a great millstone and like-minded camps and individuals who continue to teach as one body, who continue to be out on the highways and byways, risking their lives for the greater good. Shalom to the sincere Akwats who are continuously learning in silence, as the holy scriptures have commanded for you to do so. Shalom to the speckled birds, aka the Israelite foreigners, who appear to be as the heathens, but are also the scattered Israelites from the four corners of the earth. And also shalom to the true believers and subscribers of this true gospel, for this should be considered a true blessing from the higher power. This is Azariah Gabar, representing the King is Coming channel, back at it with another lesson for edification purposes. All right, so to all you jakes out there who are hell-bent on obtaining this pipe dream of the American dream, well, guess what? You guys are right now experiencing a rude awakening, man. Rude awakening, me tell you. Why? Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is bringing out the truth of the matter of that this is not our place of rest. You 2/3 jakes, you got to understand this. See, us 1/3 of the hopeful elect, we definitely understand this. But you 2/3, nope. You still hell-bent on obtaining the American dream. But it's rapidly turning into the American nightmare. You heard? So this is not our place of rest, according to the biblical scriptures. And I'm going to prove that. So what you see here on your screen, the title for this video is Mortgage Payments Are Skyrocketing. Millions of homeowners are trapped. All right? And it's becoming more exponential. And that's going to be the title for my video, Rab Abaratazah, Lord willing. It's not our rest. Simple as that. It's not our rest. This place known as Babylon the Great. So as you can see on your screen, you got this Jake Eve. She's in full panic mode because her mortgage payments probably have doubled. All right? And now she's going through fits. So this video is about maybe 20 minutes long, but I'm only going to play half of that, 10 minutes tops, and then of course put my 2 cents in and provide the biblical prophecies to support what's going on. All right, but before I do so, fair use of the 1976 Copyright Act for this video is strictly for education and edification purposes only. I'm not making a dime off this video. All right. So without any further delay, let's go.
Y'all, guess what happened? So my mortgage just went up. My mortgage just went up to $2,500.
People across the country are getting blindsided by skyrocketing mortgage payments, and some homeowners are now on the verge of losing everything. taxes are rising, insurance is exploding, and many buyers are realizing that they can't actually afford the homes that they bought. And if you're not careful when it's your turn to buy, this can happen to you. Let's jump right in.
My mortgage is going up by over $500 a month, so let's talk about it. I live in a starter house. If you saw my house, we would all agree that I live in a starter house, and my mortgage is already $4,300 a month. However, I got a letter in the mail saying that my mortgage is actually increasing, and it's now going to be $4,800 a month. It's going from $4,300 a month to $4,800 a month, and I've owned this house for like 18 months. I bought it in the summer of 2024, so do the math. It's not even been 2 years at this point. And that doesn't factor in any of the improvements that I've made on this house. I've already poured over like $75,000 into this house. I'm constantly putting money into like updates because it's outdated. It needs updates, it needs repairs, just like all of the things that come with being a homeowner. And a couple years ago, I made a video talking about why I never wanted to own a house, and I talked about things like this. And my feelings are the same. I am very grateful. I'm very fortunate that I was able to buy a house in the area that I did buy a house in. Like, it is a great area. It's a great school district. But like, genuinely, the fact that I'm 28 years old and have a mortgage that is essentially $5,000 a month for a starter house that I still have to like update and take care of and repair just feels absolutely criminal.
So I know the first thing you're probably thinking about is, how is over $4,000 a starter home? So I had to
Let's stop right there. So this is another Eve. All right, bitching and moaning that her mortgage skyrocketed to $5,000 a month. And she says it's criminal. All right. But what's really criminal is that, again, you 2/3 Jakes and a whole lot of you Eves, a hell of a lot of you Eves are into this keeping up with the Joneses, quote unquote, type of mentality. You know, you want to look and act the part of a big baller, shot caller. All right? So you want to go out there and purchase these homes. And in all likelihood, you're doing it on your own. You don't got a man with you. And, you know, then you realize later on that your ass is house poor. You're house poor, Jakes, all right? Living beyond your means. And that's what's killing your behinds. Let's continue.
some digging and figure out, does she live in New York, California, Washington State, or something like that? And it turns out she lives in Ohio. So clearly she probably has a very large house in a very exclusive suburb or something, because homes typically are not that expensive in Ohio. And she also says she put $75,000 into the house, which indicates to me either it was a fixer-upper to some degree, or she just had a lot of personal modifications she wanted to make. But hey, I'm not hating, just a little surprised at the numbers and where she is. And anybody would be upset about a $500 increase in their monthly payment. And so typically the way your monthly payment works out is that you have your principal and your interest. And in addition to that is your taxes and insurance. Your taxes and insurance goes to what's called an escrow account. And what the mortgage company does is when the taxes are due, when the insurance is due, then they take that money that they've been putting to the side throughout the year in order to pay that. If insurance or property taxes increase, then your monthly payment is going to increase. Now, principal and insurance, if you have a fixed rate mortgage, which most people do, those two stay the same unless you refinance or different things down the road. So just want to set that as our foundation. But let me know what you think. Do you think she's overpaying for her house, or do you think if she got it, she got it? Let me know what you think in the comments.
My mortgage payment increased from $5,400 to $7,129. And I'm going to explain to you why so it doesn't happen to you. For context purpose, I own a multifamily in northern New Jersey where property taxes are insane. Anyways, I bought my multifamily, and a few months after I purchased, I received my new tax rate, I guess you can call it. Do I know the correct terminology for everything? No, not right now. but I'm going to explain to you in simple terms what it is. After I bought my house, the city reassessed my property taxes and let me know what my new rate was going to be, which increased to $15,900 something dollars. When I did my mortgage payment was calculated off the property taxes that the previous owner was paying. They were paying about $5,000. So there was a big difference. My mortgage payment now, not my mortgage payment, my mortgage company pays my property taxes and I pay them monthly. So what happened was it caused me to have an escrow shortage. Escrow is the money that I pay monthly and they use that money to pay my property taxes, insurance, and etc. So what happened now is I have a negative balance in that account and I have.
So a lot of good stuff here. When you're buying a home, you wanna always call the local tax office, the county tax office, to understand how the process works. It's calculated differently everywhere and you need to be informed. So you tell them, hey, I'm potentially buying this property for, let's say, $300,000 and I wanna know what my taxes are gonna be, what can I expect, and how often you reassess it, what the calculations, what the formula is, all that stuff. And the reason you want to know that is because you want to have a realistic outlook on what you can expect in the future so you can financially prepare and also decide if you want to buy this house with all that information. A lot of people get caught up because they might see the previous owner paying a certain amount of property taxes and they get sticker shock when in 6 months, when in a year, or whenever it's reassessed, they're stuck with a big tax bill and they have an escrow shortage. And so what that basically means is there's not enough money to cover either the taxes or the insurance. And you can work with the mortgage company to see what your options are, but a lot of people end up paying in a lump sum if they have it, and I've heard in some cases just spreading it out and increasing their payment every month. Let's see the rest of her story.
To make up for it. So that caused my mortgage payment to increase to $7,129. This happened 2 years ago. Obviously, I didn't have the money to pay it all up front. I could have paid the money all up front and then my mortgage payment would have increased, but it wasn't going to be that significant. I mean, yeah, it would have been significant because my property taxes went up like $11,000, but it wouldn't have gone up to $7,129. So I've been paying monthly, and my mortgage payment now is $6,729. Once I'm done paying off that escrow shortage, it'll go down like $500. So when you do your mortgage, make sure that your lender is calculating what your property tax is going to be when you purchase a house, not based off the previous owner's property taxes. I like to share my real estate journey, the real numbers, the good and the bad, so you can learn from my experience. And I didn't edit this video or do any cuts. This is just me talking to you guys because I normally edit my videos and I don't want to do that. Okay, bye.
I respect the transparency. I respect anyone who's able to share their experience, what they're going through, because the good thing is that we can all learn from it. And so she mentioned something very important, that her monthly payment is going to go down once she clears that escrow shortage. So it's just something you want to keep in mind. You don't want to end up stuck and in this same situation. Now, there's a lot of people who say, oh, the lender should have said something. The realtor should have said something. Yes, this might be true, but if you are buying a home, you have to thoroughly educate yourself on the process so you understand for yourself and don't just rely on somebody else to tell you everything that you need to know. And the reason that it's beneficial for you to have that knowledge is so you can check people. You can check your realtor if they're telling you something that's not accurate. You can check the lender if they're telling you something that's not accurate. Or let's say you call the county tax office, you understand the process, and you tell your lender, I want an accurate quote of my mortgage, not what the previous person paid for their taxes, but what I'm going to pay. It's going to help if you have the information already and you know what you're talking about. Because if they feel like being lazy, they have no choice but to give you the real numbers, or you can take your business somewhere else. And unfortunately, I've experienced surprise property tax increases because I wasn't educated on that. Nobody online was talking about, oh, your property taxes could increase, your insurance and all that. So I'm hoping that these stories are helping you all so far. But it's definitely important to have a good realtor on your team, a good lender on your team. And if you are looking to buy or sell a home in the next year, I can help you find a realtor in your area. If you're interested in that, the information is down in the pinned comment.
I didn't know that when I was building a home that I just pay taxes off the land, and then when the home is actually built, then you got to pay taxes on the actual home and the land, which increased my mortgage by $3,000. I didn't know that. Now my mortgage is increased by $3,000 from what I'm currently paying. Plus you still got all these other expenses and stuff like that. I don't knock buying a home. I think the goal should always still buy a home, but you should be prepared to know what's to come. Like I say, they would have told me like, hey, your tax is going to be based off of this number instead of this number in a year. No, that wouldn't have changed my decision. I still would have moved forward. But if they would have told me that, I would have been prepared and not, look in the mail and be like, bro, who this fuck? You feel me? Who is this fuck? I know y'all ain't trying to increase my mortgage. And then the thing like that is like, it's aggravating because it's like, bro, you think I'm just about to allow you to bully me? I feel like y'all trying to bully me. Like, you think you're just about to just get 3,000 extra out of me and don't say something. But come to find out, this is how this junk is. So I wish I would just known a little bit more. But
Damn, dude, you giving me a crazy ass migraine. Damn, son. All right, so like I said, I wasn't gonna play this whole lengthy video, but two things that you should observe. Number one, in all likelihood, all these complainants were Jakes. And number two, all got caught up in the same brouhaha. All right? They got caught up because, again, you want to live beyond your means. You want to keep up with the Joneses. All right? And we're in that time now where jobs are being eliminated left and right. And especially you Eves in particular. Since this year started back on January 1st, over maybe 300,000 jobs were taken away from you Eves, I believe. I could be wrong. It could be more. It could be less. But still, a lot of you Eves are being impacted by no work for Egypt. Okay? So now your asses are caught out there. You heard? So my thing is this. Use your common sense. All right? This is about survival in these last days. So having a regular apartment, there's no shame to it. Okay? Me, I never owned a house ever in my life. All right? And I'm in my mid-50s. I'm 55 to be exact. And I never, ever owned a house or tried to own a house, in which, by the way, you don't own that house. As long as there's a property tax assessed, you're never going to own the house. As a matter of fact, someone from the Trump administration, I forgot who the dude is and what his name is, but he straight up came out not too long ago and said that homeowners' property taxes are going to be used to pay off the national debt. All right, so you guys are piggy banks to this Babylonian government and don't even know it. All right? So, me, I'm good. As long as I have a roof over my head, I'm grateful. All right? So, with that being said, let's go to the scriptures.
Where should you invest $100 today?
Shut up. I didn't ask. So on the top of the list of the scripts, this should be familiar by now. Micah 2:10, and it reads, Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. Babylon is super duper polluted. All right, spiritually, financially, physically, everything. Morally, you name it. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. Slakia, okay? Boom, I can end this lesson right now. But wait a minute. Let me finish, okay? Because that's what's going on, especially with a lot of you Jakes. You guys are being destroyed by home ownership. You guys are losing your homes on a daily basis, foreclosure. All right? You're losing everything. And that's going to be your downfall. Book of Matthew 6:19. And this is definitely what's up. And it reads, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Woo! Isn't that the truth? When you own a house, it will eventually start to crumble. And in these last days and times, with the sedition amongst men and the race wars and the class wars, people are already starting to break into other people's houses. All right? In verse 20, and it reads, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. Woo! Beautiful. Yapa. All right, this is where you Jakes are supposed to concentrate your treasures, not on this earth, but in heaven, which is right around the corner in these last days. Because the kingdom of heaven, man, believe me, it's going to be decked out in gold and rubies, according to the scriptures. You ain't going to have no damn mortgages, no property taxes, any of those things. Corruptible things. Because that's what these things are, these damn taxes. It's corruptible. Like I told you, like that guy from the Trump administration said, property taxes are going to be used to pay off the national debt. So you guys are being used as piggy banks. All right? And the last scripture, Proverbs 11:21, and it reads, thou hand, join in hand, wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Woo! So this book of Proverbs 11:21 coincides with Micah 2:10. Because again, Micah 2:10, I'll read again. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sword destruction. You see what I'm saying? You see how I'm linking these two precepts? And here in Proverbs, it's saying pretty much the same thing. All right? So, there you go. So, you want to try to join hands and be down with Babylon and want to make it in Babylon? Well, guess what? You're joining hands with the wicked. And you shall not be unpunished, you Jakes, you 2/3 Jakes. You're going to get yours very soon. You heard? So I'm going to conclude this valuable lesson for today. Abaratazah, Lord willing, it was definitely edifying and to the point. And with that being said, all praises, honor, and the glory shall go to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Kodash, Brakatam Kwam, Yasharal, Rise Israel. And as always, Abaratazah, Lord willing, on to the next video. Shalom.